My name is Tim Buck. I have to chuckle about the perfect combination here. It's going to be an interesting session because I can tell you one thing. Don't be so stupid, and if you ever propose a session with a demo, put each part of the demo into the session title so you don't have a backup if something doesn't work. So I had an interesting night and very early morning, and bear with me. I hope at least we get somehow through this. If it does work though, it's going to be, there's going to be some quite cool things, and it was mentioned. I only really noticed this morning that the IoT stuff that I'm working on today and UI5, that was also clear. I was quite early in UI5 when we, with Stefan and the colleagues, when we still had like 0 stakeholders, hard to imagine at this point. And also with the Web IDE, we started the Web IDE with a, what then looked a nightmare project because it was like all over the world and teams that had done competing stuff beforehand and should work together. And then it turned out to be a really cool project. And what came out of it and still is coming out of it is really cool, and it's going to be part of this. So you probably expected something cool like this. Or because it's about IoT, something like this. And yes, I meant to do such things. But out came just this wonky thing, right? Where I have to admit, like, my last challenge was actually the Lego itself to make it actually straight. Again, bear with me, I started much too late with the whole thing and had some severe problems with the software. Usually it's the SAP software that you have problems with. In this case, it wasn't at all. It's more or less what the Lego robot actually gives you. I mean, it's some of you might know it's a Linux operation system. And as it goes, obviously a lot of freaks have built images. For example, you can, and that's what I'm using here, you can program Python on it and get access to the actuators and the sensors of the whole thing via Python. But then it doesn't have a lot of processing power. And if you have to install something or even make something, because Python has a really old SSL library, it gets interesting. So after 1.5 hours this morning, I stopped the whole thing, and fortunately I found a workaround. So okay, now after all this complaining and the basics of it's not reacting well. I just need to tell you what this is all about. So again, I'm in IoT. Why is this not actually? I understand that the Lego robot doesn't really react well, but why PowerPoint would not react well, I don't understand. Okay. So where we are working in is the so-called SAP Leonardo IoT Foundation. I suppose a lot of you have heard of the Leonardo Foundation nowadays. It's a lot of things. It's not only IoT, it's machine learning, blockchain, all the cool new stuff in there, and obviously it all works perfectly together. It sits on the SAP Cloud Platform. So you can think of this SAP Leonardo Foundation for IoT. We call it as like an operation system for IoT. So you get the tools to build IoT applications to connect devices to the SAP Cloud Platform in a secure way. There's a lot of protocols that we support to speak with the cloud platform and vice versa. The data that comes in, you'll see that can be actually big data. It can be a lot because you have got a lot of devices or a lot of time series data, so sensor data that you send into the system or both. And that needs to be handled. That's quite a challenge, and it needs to be stored in some big data store, which HANA is not. And then you want to access this data, the sensor data, you want to build applications on top of it, you want to see something with that data, and for that you have APIs, and you have templates in the Web IDE, which I'm going to show you. And at the heart of the whole thing is the thing model. We'll see that as well. That's basically the model, it's your digital twin as they call it, So the representation of the device and its properties that can be master data or sensor data in the system. So, and this is what the foundation is about, and all the stuff that you see on top, connected products, assets, and so on. There's a couple of applications they should build on top of that. In parts they do, in other parts they have their own stuff as it goes, usually. But it should be the foundation for all the SAP IoT products and for what customers and partners build with it. Next one, I don't want to say too much. I mean, like if you look on paper, it's all the cool stuff is in there. It's all in the cloud. You've got you've got HANA, you've got Cassandra, Kafka, Spark. I'll say a bit about that as well. You've got Cloud Foundry for the microservices, and then, of course, our good old web IDE and UI5 on top with some special controls. You'll see about that. Again, it doesn't really want to. Now it does react again. So this is roughly how the whole thing works. You have some component called IoT service on the left-hand side. This is how. This is the technical component that connects the device. In this case, the device is our robot with the cloud platform, and it does it in a secure way. So you have to have certificates that you have to upload on the device, or now it's also, you can also use OAuth for it. And it also makes sure that all the data gets into the system. Because, as I said, that can be a lot of data, and that can be, well, not that we have that many customers yet, but there could be millions of messages that get into a cloud instance, and you have to handle that. Because of that, you have a message broker like Kafka in front of it that can, I read about, that can actually handle up to 6 million messages per second, right? And it would put it in the message broker. Basically, it's for peaks. I mean, if we get 6 million messages all the time, we certainly cannot do that. But if you have a peak and the rest is fast enough, it'll be able to handle this. It's a distributed solution as much as Spark as well. Spark, some of you might have heard also. It's a Spark is also uses clusters, and you can carry out jobs in this distributed system, so you can distribute the workload all over your cluster, and by that, again, be able to work on a huge amount of data. The very end, this is all stored in a big data store, and you see a lot of databases there. Some of you might ask, why are there so many? Okay, Vora will be the future. We're working on SAP's own Vora. It will be replacing Cassandra, the so-called warm store. That's where the actual time series data gets into. It also gets into the cold store, which is S3 from Amazon or Swift. So both time series data go into the system. Why is that? Or into two different databases. Why is that? That's because one of them is cheap but slow. That's S3. And Cassandra is quite expensive but much faster. And because it's too expensive to keep all your data in there, we have a retention time of 3 months. Then there's HANA, which is even more expensive. We put aggregates in there. Pre-aggregates, for example, if you want to build an aggregation of some, let's say, temperature. You've measured temperature each second, and now you want to have an aggregation over a year. What's the average temperature? Doing that on Cassandra probably takes you a year also to get to the result. So that's why we do pre-aggregations. And on top of that is the thing model, which we'll see in a second, that has APIs automatically exposed in terms of OData and REST, and you have something in the web ID, and that should be the core of it. Now, I think before I go into too many slides, I think it's probably a better idea to actually go into the demos, especially since I have not rehearsed the talk because I had so many problems getting the thing to work. So let's start with the thing modeler. or with a thing model. That's like a standard application that we provide by IoT, obviously built with UI5. It would be a crime if not. What you do in there, you can see there's something like a thing type. You can see it as a data dictionary for IoT. So you would model the master data that you have for the devices, and you would model all the sensor data that you want to have in the system. So in this case, we've created a thing which is the EV3 robot. I just gave it a name assigned a property name as master data. We are not really interested in the master data today. And I came up with a couple of attributes for the sensor. So there's a color sensor in there, the one that's actually looking down. As I mentioned, it's not meant to be, and it's not working that well, I have to say. So I'm going to focus on the distance, on the infrared sensor here. And hopefully we'll see some change in the distance when we have the whole thing moving. And then as a last thing, we have some motor time. Now, IoT is not only about sending data into the system, but also about some control mechanisms. It's usually settings. I have to say, probably if you want to do something and would want to steer that, you would not use a cloud version of IoT because, well, A, because of the latency, B, because the network might not be there at all. If you want to do such things, you do that somewhere else. If you still want to use IoT, the so-called edge computing, some of you might have heard of it. It's basically a computer that sits next to the device, but not in the cloud. But we are not going to cover that. The only thing I have to say, I was also showing off in the whole description about real time, that we'll see real time. When I say real time, it's not completely real time, because the sensor data that we'll send into the system, again, there's the latency, which is not the biggest problem, but then you have Spark behind it, and Spark runs in batch jobs. At the moment, we have set them up to run every 10 seconds, right? Or maybe it might be actually a bit smaller, but it used to be 10 seconds. So it means that every message that gets in, it might actually take 10 seconds before it's processed for the first time. That gets in the database, and you have to read it from the database. So we'll not see real time. We see a considerable delay of like 20 seconds or so, right? And that also tells you but that's not just for this demo. If you want to use IoT in the cloud, you have to be prepared for this, that this doesn't matter. Usually it doesn't matter if you, for example, if people in a chemical, in a plant or so measure the temperature, not at the first instance when the temperature is too high, everything is immediately stopped. You usually look at some average temperature or so, or if it's important, as I said, you don't do it in the cloud. So this is a thing modeler, and before this stops working somehow, I'll show you hopefully the first bit. We can also control, as I said, something in the motor type here. The motor time is really a time in milliseconds, and I would hope if I now put in 1,000 and I'm not timed out and everything still works, I save that thing. Then after a while, that was a bit fast. It does work, so I'm fine now. Yeah, so it went the whole way now. It went from this application to the database. This part is HANA actually. Then we send an API, then we had an API call to the technical component, which is called IoT service, which talks from the cloud via HTTP with our little robot here. And why does it actually move when I do this? There's obviously a Python running here. So you see, this is the Python that runs there that regularly checks if there's a new command and regularly sends something back. This is using HTTP. There's other protocols which I actually tried this morning, MQTT, which would be much more reactive, but I failed installing or getting this to run there. So now it's HTTP, and it's a bit of, you could say it's a polling now what happens, right? Okay, so this is the thing modeler where you create your model. You can imagine if you want to measure temperature, you just create a new attribute, say it's an integer or a double or something, and then it's there, and you have to do a couple of more things. Also on the device, you have to have something on the device that sends the data into the system or receives it. But okay, this is nice, but usually you want to build an application, and now people are probably thinking, well, you know, this should be about UI5, and Web IDE has told us enough about his IoT stuff now. Now I'm going to show you something in the Web IDE, which I think is pretty cool. It's building an application, hopefully in, again, bear with me, hopefully some 2 minutes or so. Basically, if I wouldn't talk in between 2 minutes, it's actually realistic. And the beauty of this is, as it always goes, you probably know there's always been the promise that there are tools where you can build applications and you're finished in no time. We all know, yeah, it's usually demos, like this one, and or it's a starting point. And then maybe the last 20% come up, which take you a million % of the time, right? That's how the reality is. But it gives you something that you can start off with and that you can learn with. And that's the beauty of the Web IDE as well, which I always felt strongly, also in comparison to other tools that SAP was bringing up. You can do some things very easily to bring up a first version. You'll see in a second, this time even without any coding. But underneath, you get a normal UI5 application and you just switch the perspective, and then you have the code, and then the real work starts and you can pick it up from there. And that's the whole idea. And most of it, I suppose, the people that are that know the Web IDE will say, "Oh, I've seen that before." But we've added something new together with the Web IDE colleagues, and also, even though it's not in there, with the UI5 colleagues. But I'll show you what the UI5 colleagues have added to this. So I'm going to create a new application. And that my favorites are obviously the IoT applications. All the rest doesn't matter to me anymore. So I have to come up with a name, the usual crap, title, next. So the next thing is already, as I said, like we are exposing our data services. So once you model a thing and you onboard a thing in the thing modeler, it's immediately exposed in an OData service. So it's actually one OData service for all the things and all the models. Not sure if that was the best idea, but that's how it is. Yeah, it's immediately via this OData service. Then what happens is that you have to select a thing type. So you basically now choose the category of the devices that you want to have, because it's one service. You don't want to show all the things that are in the system, but we just want to show everything that goes now with EV3. So EV3 is the name of the robot. And then I didn't really mention that much about it, but in the thing modeler you have some basic or master data, and we had sensor data, and you pick what you want to have in this application. We just take all of them. So far, nothing really cool and surprising. Also, when we now pick a 3-column layout, okay. We have our first problem. Drive. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. It came up, but I think I'd rather delete it again. The project already exists. Okay. Now I'll take a gamble. Actually, when it gets to that point, it looks quite good, but we'll see. If not, I promised you it's a 2-minute thing, so I stop talking and try it again. So what we now get is a so-called storyboard. It probably was shown, it definitely is shown again in Amiram Wingarten's talk today. The storyboard, you first of all see all the pages that make up this application, and you can connect between them and navigate between them. That's new in the Web IDE, in the standard Web IDE. We just have one page here, and so we're gonna go into this page. We directly go into the layout editor, which has 3 columns, because we asked it for, remember before I got the error, I just said 3 columns. Now on the left-hand side, we have a couple of controls. So there's standard UI5 controls, but there's also our very own IoT controls. So in IoT, we've built a number of UI5 controls to support the whole story. But because it's UI5, it can be obviously mingled with other controls as well. So SAP M is obviously also possible, and most of the controls are based on SAP M anyway. So they are extensions to SAP M. So let's first take a thing list. So there's a list of things on the left-hand side. Yeah, and there I have also usually a problem. That's also not good. Okay. As long as only this stuff happens, I'm still fine. Sorry. I'll try it one more time, and then maybe I go back and do the whole thing again. I'm not sure if this has to do with but yeah, looks better. Okay, now I'll get a map. Not there. That was not where I wanted to put it. Now, on top of it, so it's a special map, also obviously built on top of the standard UI5 map, and the sensor chart. And the sensor chart will hopefully show us the time series data. And then we have something special as well, called gauge. And so now we've got the controls, so it's new controls, but again, nothing really special at this point, because this exists in the standard as well. But what's new now, normally now you need to connect all the controls somehow. For example, if I press on the list, as a developer, I need to go into the controller. I need to say, oh, the row selection event, now do something, pass the context on to the other controls in there. So you always have to program something. And we thought, like, for an easy thing, that's not really needed. So we came up with something which is called actions. That doesn't, in this form, exist in the UI5 world yet. But as I said, the colleagues have developed a couple of things which help us go in there. So if we go to events, we have our row select event from the list. And we can now say, normally we would go and create a function. Here you can now say wire to action. And you get a choice of all the other controls that are on the page, right? So there's our map. And when the row is selected, we want to zoom into the map. With the chart, we want to do a reload. So these are some standard actions that we've created. We want to reload the data. And with the gauge, we also want to reload the data. Okay, so for all these controls, we are finished. The only control we are not finished, and we have to improve this a bit yet, is the gauge. For the gauge, we still have to say what kind of entity set is used. Just forget about this and don't think it was there. But what is definitely needed, we cannot know what kind of value now from the model is going to be shown in there. Is it well, the color, probably not, but is it the distance or is it the motor time or so? And that you have to select here. We talked about this yesterday. This dialog could also be a bit nicer. Coming from the UI area, scroll bar in scroll bar is a crime. It should not happen really. But is that the right one? Yeah, sensor. So I'll take the distance here. So this is the data binding. But notice all the other controls, we haven't had to do any binding. So I'm finished now, I hope. Now if I start this, after a reasonable amount of time, which is even worse at the moment because I have to also say this. But it's fair enough, maybe I don't say it and we'll get the application. we'll get the application right. Again, there's obviously a lot of things to change in this. I don't want to see a GUID in there. Also, probably the percentage of the VBoxes is not too good. But we've got something, and we press on it, and the map focuses, and we also see our sensor chart doing something. And we can zoom into this. So this is what happened. And it's the actual data. I mean, you can tell I came here, well, just after 1 o'clock and tried a lot of stuff back and forward. And this is like the last, I mean, it's funny that it's going back and forward that much because it's not moving yet, but it's the actual data, right? And that's the actual distance, right? So I'm actually good in time. That's amazing. So that's nice. Actually, now if I move the whole thing again, it's still working. We can update the chart, and after some 20 seconds or so, would see a new value. Let's just try that out. No, the minus. Just before I came, I tried it out, and the Python program crashed. So, let's hope it. It was almost too near. Maybe I put the book in front of it as well. And now, as I said, it'll probably take some 20 seconds or so. Which one is it? Which one is it? This one is it, right? If we, yeah, that's bad now, because I didn't really, take good percentages, or the default is there. I have to go via this, and, you see it already changed, right? So, but because now the next bit comes up, it's not really fun to have to click on this again and again to see the data. Now we want to do something real time, and we want to bring some more UI5 in. I have to say what I'm going to do now is, I probably have to copy and paste, which, you know, is even worse than having to work with the Lego thingy. And in all honesty, I mean, we've shown these things, really some years ago, but it's still cool. I was thinking, okay, how can I get a chart which does something in real time? And it's still the old chestnut D3.js. Probably most of you know. You Google a bit, and you look for real-time D3, and you immediately, find, something like this, like a GitHub gist, and you just copy the code, which I did. I use Snippix, the internal SAP tool for this, and you immediately get something like this, that with random data. And all that is left to do, is to use that sample code and put it into a control. And it's still, you know, you have to probably have done it once or to have some example, but once you have seen an example, it is really, really easy to create a UI5 control from this. Why would you create a UI5 control? I mean, first of all, you want to put it into a UI5 application now. And B, it immediately takes part in the data binding. So we've got our data source, for example, that I'm polling. I will be polling then each second. And I just update the model, and then it would work in this chart. So I've taken this code, and maybe, you know, I'm not going to do step by step, because you've seen the application, what it looks like. Should probably once go back, and we should see that there is real code. So the EV3 UI5con, it's the standard stuff. It has views, controllers, and all the standard stuff in there, right? Yeah. So now I decided more or less, and I'm probably spare myself the cutting and pasting, and I think it's good enough if I show you with the same application that I've done this morning. And I'll show you what now has to be changed to bring in this control. In fact, I have actually added two controls, a color one, and the color one is really easy. So there is just a new folder with the two controls. It uses the control extent to create a new control. It has some metadata there. In this case, it's a string of the color that actually comes from the sensor. And what it does, it just creates a div which has a bit of CSS and would reflect as a background color the color that would come in. Right, so really easy control. It's just one div with a background color. Right, and then we have the live chart, and the live chart is our D3 stuff. Right, so all this stuff here, I copied from what I have in Snippix, and obviously I had to do a couple of things there as well. Without going into too much details, but those of you who know UI5 well know that the renderer that creates the HTML is really creating the HTML only when the whole page is being finished processing. But libraries like D3, they need some anchor. They need the HTML anchor before they can do something in the DOM. So what you render is really just a div. And then you have the on-after rendering method, which takes place when UI5 has actually rendered the HTML. And then we let our D3 code do its job. We need to tell it what to select. This getID is a method of the UI5 control, so we get the ID of the div that was created as an anchor. And now that's the standard code that I have copied over. Right. So there's really not much in it. There's a function tick also. That's periodically called. I think here it's now 500 milliseconds. Each 500 milliseconds, it looks for some current value, and that will come from our UI5 model, and then it does the shifting and it should actually show the distance. Okay. So this is the control. Then there is a controller. In the controller, I need to show the actions. I completely forgot about the actions, but I'll come back to that. I've added a couple of things. I think the important one is the on-init. And as I said, this is a bit dirty. It basically does a polling each second now to get the data, right? In future times, hopefully there's WebSockets, and we'll get other ways to get that to the UI. At the moment, you need to poll, and we'll have a polling each second for the new data, for the so-called snapshot. So the snapshot is the latest time series data, it's the latest sensor data we get in there. We kind of unpack it in a JSON model. This is a bit of hacking because, unfortunately, we have in our data model something like this with a dash, and that kind of conflicts with UI5's binding. So you cannot have a dash in there, or a slash in there, a dash, a slash in there. So I had to do a bit of hacking there to get it in there. But this is basically getting the data, updating the model with the new data. And then obviously the final bit is bringing it to a view. On the view, you have to tell it where to get the controls from. So IoT controls goes to this folder here, to the controls folder. It's the name of the folder. And the controls themselves, I put in place. I replaced the chart that we had before. So you remember there was a map, and then there was a chart. So the chart I got rid of. Instead, I've got our new live chart in there, and underneath the gauge on the right-hand side, I have the color, color one. And then at the very end, the application. I have to look. It's the right one. Yes, it's the right one. Let's start this. And now, if the final bit also works, I couldn't be any happier. Let's see. Okay, it starts off well because it's at 100. 100 is the sensor value when it basically goes to infinity. I mean, this is not infinity, but the Lego, that's the Lego sensor that comes up with this value, I hope. Let's try our usual stuff again. So let's bring it forward a bit.
But
yeah?
Have you selected the thing already? Because
no, that's a nice one, because I've not. Let me show you why that is. That's obviously also a hack from this morning. I mean, you've got both in there, but because it was also tight, I didn't clean that up anymore. What usually happens is it goes into dispatch and then sets a thing ID from the row selection event, and it would set the ID here, right? But you've seen I've done a little trick on that right from the start, yeah? So, but, you know,
because the gauge isn't...
Yes, yes, exactly. I mean, it shouldn't happen. I was kind of hoping that no one noticed. But, I mean, you still see, if you probably take 5 minutes more, and then it's actually like this. So where was I? Ah, here. The color one, I tried it out yesterday evening. The color, it does something, but the color doesn't really reflect what you usually see. So even if I brought some last minute stuff like some red cup or so, I'm not going to show you that. But let's hope the distance is right. So let's do the usual stuff again. Not this one. This one, thing modeler. Again, let's give it a second to drive forward. Okay, so I'll correct it a bit. It has a bit of a light drift. I'll give it another 500 milliseconds. And while that is happening, we should go actually back to our application. It's the wrong one. Oh, you see there's something happening, but that's probably just from the first time. That's the 20 seconds, and now it goes down. So it is actually good. Okay. Can't believe it all worked.
By the color.
Yeah, no, exactly. Thorsten?
At least white.
No, but there is something now I absolutely need to tell you about the, and I completely forgot about the, what about this action wiring that's in the web IDE, that's in the standard web IDE without being standard UI5. And we're basically still working on this to make it also a standard, because there's nothing really IoT specific about this action wiring. It has nothing to do with IoT, right? So it should really be available for others as well, and we've been talking about this for a while. But what happens behind the scene is that I keep not knowing where I have to go. Let's have a look at what was created on the view. You remember I said on the row select, I had to select some actions, or I had to select a couple of controls, one-to-n controls with some actions. And that's reflected in the code at the end. The web IDE creates this then for us in such a way that you see there's a row select event as always. Well, originally, now I should go to the other application, sorry, because it now says dispatch. The one that we created together was this one, and it has row select, and there's a method action. That's a normal, that's the usual thing. And that would take the event, and you have to program something there. But we want to pass something over, and we wanted to do that somehow, and that is actually what we call wiring. So there's a custom UI5 object there. So a bit of a dirty trick, where we say, well, what was the event and what are the targets? And you see this is quite nasty, so you have to escape some JSON here, you have to come up with this custom object, and to pass it over. Now, what is this action method? And that's still to this day. That's something that's a standard method we have in the template. Standard method means it's not UI5, but from the template. And it does the whole job. right? So this method, 5 minutes left, that's great. So it looks at all this stuff that comes with the wiring, but having to change that somehow obviously is not nice, because it's escaped and you have to know all this stuff. So meanwhile, and I think I can actually switch also to the official documentation, or at least the internal wiki page. There is something in UI5, there's two things called controller extension, and now you can also pass, and that's very good for other use cases as well, you can pass parameters with your method. What that would look like, I've prepared this morning, it's not working, but if we look at same kind of view again, so this is what we had before. Forget about the dispatch, it should be action. I only changed that afterwards. But this is how you've just seen it, and this is how UI5 now lets you do it. Right? So now what you can do is you can have a handler, which is still called action, but you can directly pass parameters on the view. Right? You don't have to go via an event and then somehow get it in the back. You can immediately do it in there. You don't have to have this weird construct there. You can pass on whatever you want. The whole concept, I can try and switch the network because I'm not going to use this anymore. I'm not going to risk my luck. It also comes with binding, right? You can even bind values in there, which is it's normal. Let me just show you. At some point it will hopefully go away. If it doesn't, coding methods with parameters. So this is the internal one. I suppose, I'm not sure, UI5 guys, is there already an external documentation already? Do you know? Does anyone know?
Should
be in a demo kit.
It's in a demo kit. It's definitely already delivered, so there should be something already. But there is a lot in there. I haven't really grasped everything there. As I said, you have like binding in this, and this is really cool. So, I mean, to come to an end of the whole thing, we'll be also changing the templates, and the hope will still be that the web IDE, together with UI5, introduces something like we have in our template only for any kind of application, and it would be some standard. And as I said, it's actually meant to start you up, to give you a demo, to give you a first application and to start. And with this, I guess I'm through. So.